Black and White Network supporters, make sure you check out the Black and White Network merchandise store. Link in the description. Use promo code USA First, all one word. USA First, all one word. 25% off now. I'm back. Rudrance for Black and White Network. If you're new to the channel, make sure you hit subscribe. Shout out to my beautiful wife who is in ICU in the hospital right now. You may be thinking, why are you here? I'm just here for a couple of minutes, and then I'm going right back to the hospital. She's been in there for 4 days. So I love you, honey, and I'll be back very quickly. Okay, so let's talk about the leftist radical network known as CNN, the network that is very far removed from the play-by-play of Desert Storm that blew the network up. Does anybody remember that? We actually watched war taking place for the first time ever on TV. Does everybody remember the rockets and the night vision and all that? Boy, that seems like a long time ago with CNN. Now, of course, CNN has become a radical leftist network. They have wrapped their loving arms around the business of hating on Trump and loving Biden. And they have found out that business is, in fact, not a booming. Not a booming. CNN Plus was a massive failure. Brian Stelter just got the walking papers, and it seems, the ants are scattering because the water is coming in. Yes, the flood is coming, and nobody's safe. Don Lemon looking at you. Anderson Cooper, oh my God, looking at you. You may be out the door. This is a Daily Wire. New CNN CEO's bleak message for employees at the far left network. You, quote, might not like what's coming. Wow, I'm just coming out. The hell with y'all. Y'all are out. Wow. New CNN chairman and CEO Chris Light did little to calm the nerves of highly partisan employees at the far left network this week after the cancellation of Brian Stelter's show, Reliable Sources. Yeah, and he also got the axe. He got walked. Light started to evaluate the hyper-partisan so-called, quote, talent okay, at the network shortly after he joined CNN as he aimed to dial down the extreme partisanship that has plagued the network in recent years. Something you may want to remember is Don Lemon literally went on a show on CNN and said because of the extreme nature of the right-wing extremist group society, that Lemon literally come out and said basically he doesn't believe you can have, quote-unquote, that fair coverage because we're so extreme. Yeah. Extreme Championship Wrestling. Yeah. Quote, I want to acknowledge that this is time of significant change, and I know that many of you are unsettled, Light said, according to numerous people who attended Friday's editorial meeting call. Quote, there will be more changes, and you might not understand it or like it. A CNN staffer told Deadline, quote, no one is safe or secure right now. Awesome. I think people are legitimately sad that Brian is leaving. Oh, my God. An anonymous person at CNN claimed to The Hollywood Reporter he was a big presence at the network, but understand that Chris has to put a stamp on the network. Deadline reported that billionaire investor John Malone, who is one of the largest investors in CNN's parent company, Warner Brothers Discovery, said earlier in the year during an interview he wanted CNN to evolve back to the kind of journalism that it started with, and actually have journalists. Stelter whined in his newsletter at the time that Malone, wanting unbiased reporting at the network, quote, stoked fears that Discovery might stifle CNN journalists and steer them away from calling out indecency and injustice. An insider told Deadline that the decision to can Stelter, quote, was coming from above. If this isn't coming from John Malone directly, it sure represents his thinking with lieutenants, lunatics, doing his bidding. The changes come after Light
told CNN staffers over the summer that he understood the network had undergone a lot of changes in a short amount of time after Jeff Zucker was terminated from his lead role with the company. Quote, "You heard me say in my first town hall that I'm going to make decisions slower than some would like. I know this organization has been through tremendous change over the last 4 months, which is why I'm approaching this process slowly and thoughtfully. As we look at all parts of the operation, we will realign where it makes sense to serve our people and the business." Here's their problem. I can tell you right now, their issue at CNN now, okay, if they fire everybody, is going to be, how in the living hell do you ever earn back the trust of people that have already turned their television sets and their Rokus and their Fire Sticks and everything else, their streaming systems? How do you get those people back? How do you get those people back? I mean, I don't see how you earn that trust back. I really don't. Okay? You know, there is a quote-unquote network out there that's supposed to be middle of the road, and it's called News Nation, all right? Now, I understand that's the kind of network CNN kind of used to be back in the day. But even then, News Nation's jumping the shark because they hired Chris Cuomo, who I know is trying to act like he's now leaning more right, but you see the problem there. We don't buy it, right? It doesn't matter. If all of a sudden Anderson Cooper is, you know, talking about how much he likes Donald Trump, are any of you going to buy that? Because I'm not. I'm not. It's going to be like, oh, okay, you're trying to save your gig. Gotcha. I mean, we're just not going to buy it. Journalism is something that is gone in this country. I can't weed into the dealings of 2020, November. You know what I mean? What I'm talking about because of the platform. But there was a time when you could count on a New York Times journalist or a Boston Globe journalist or a CNN journalist or somebody, a group of guys who've gotten into a room. Has anybody seen the movie where the Boston Globe blew the lid off of, what was it, the Catholic priest and all the misdoings with the kids and all that? Well, there was a time when All the King's Men, that wasn't the name of the movie, but you know what I'm talking about. The point is, there was a time when they would have been the ones that would have went deep into it, and they would have exposed anything that might have happened. Okay? But because everybody's got a blind spot against Republicans and against conservatives, no one wants to look. Nothing to see here. Please move along. Okay, that's what actual journalism was. They went into it. They were the ones that broke the story, right? And they did their research and they talked to people and they pounded the pavement, and now all that's gone. All that's gone. It is all, a lot of it is all political commentary now. Because nobody trusts journalism, because they're not willing to pound the pavement and expose the misdoings on all sides. That's the problem, right? So I think this is good. I mean, it can't not be good. MSNBC has just fully embraced. They are radical socialist leftists in the network. So had CNN. I don't know that it'll ever be back. I'll never watch them again, and that's part of the issue that they've got. Are you turning on CNN for your news? I highly doubt it. Even with sweeping changes. You know, the only two good things that's coming from this big merger. Number one, in the entertainment side, I think we might get the Snyderverse back for DC Comics and the movies. I honestly think the Snyderverse, in some form or fashion, is coming back. And the other good thing is, like I've got Discovery Plus and I've got HBO Max. Well, that's fixing to merge, and I'm fixing to be able to dump one. That's going to be the only other good thing. There you go. And we might shit can Robert Pattinson as Batman. 3 good things, right? Tell me what you think, because I've already saw where they're talking about scrapping that whole thing. Please do. God, I hated that Batman movie. Peace. I'm out till next time.